Okay then. So I get it. I am quite a bit late, and I'm gonna do my break at the same time I usually do. So I guess it's only gonna be an hour from now. But so yeah, just a slow day today. Went grocery shopping this morning, and just a sec here. Let me pull this off here so I can make it small enough to fit on my other screen. Okay, so let me go ahead. Hey, Rook, thanks for stopping by. And just give me a sec here. Turning off my audio because sounds like it's all right. Remove my headphones. Refreshing restream. And then let's go into the chat. And yes, I know I'm late. Okay. I'll try to start getting back to being on time. Maybe next week. Dad has another appointment on next Thursday. So I may or may not be streaming. It's a little bit closer, so it's possible that I could actually do my stream early in the morning, maybe, or later after I come back, or maybe in two parts. I've been floating this idea of doing the two-part thing, although the timing might not be that great because I'm thinking, this timing isn't that great either. Really, the optimal time would probably be it at my evening time. But I'm eating dinner, I'm watching TV with Dad, and before he goes to bed, and so doing 3 or 4 hours in the evening is not really that feasible. But so I do it a little bit earlier, um, and it's possible that if I switch I'm I'm just considering, I'm just thinking about it, but considering switching to split up my stream into two streams. So early in the day and then later in the day. So like technically later at night, which is for my time would be somewhere around would it be 9 to 11? I think 9 to 11. I think something like that. I'm not really. Yeah. 9 to 11. All right. Maybe 8:45 to 10:45 or something like that. Um, not 100% sure the full thing of what I do there, but so yeah, um, 2 hours at night and then 2 hours like earlier in the morning, which for me is my time. Eastern time is Eastern U.S. time is I'd be starting somewhere like 7:30 to 9:30 or somewhere in there before I actually had you know. So I'm not really sure if this would help or hurt anything as far as people watching it. But since I don't have that many people watching right now, obviously, if you're, let's see, if you're 8.5 hours, if you're like somebody from India, and um, that would almost be like the next morning, right? So nine to five is 8 hours, 5:30. So I'd be starting at 5:30 then. Um, if you're talking about the UK and Rook, I think you're the only one from the UK that's actually watched my stream, I think. And your time is 5 hours out, so that would be um, that would be like two a.m. your time, and you'd probably be asleep at that time. But in the morning, if I did the morning, how would that be? The morning would be you wouldn't be able to watch. Um, you probably wouldn't be able to watch or listen then either because you'd be at work probably. So, 7:30 my time is I have to think 9:30 is 2 hours, 11:30 is 4 hours, 12:30. So it'd be 12:30. It'd be like 12:30 to 2:30 your time. So you'd probably be at work even then. So I don't know. I guess it means alienating the the few guys that actually look at my stream. So I don't know how that would work out. Um, my audio should be coming through all right. I checked it already, so that should be fine. And okay, so we gotta finish. We gotta finish what we start. Come, interesting. See some here. Can I make it perfectly straight? Can make it perfectly straight. Okay. This. And then let's say room data, I guess. Okay. To the lapswood edge. All right, so I don't know if maybe I will go ahead and name it. Think of some cool names for cool tavern names, like the Prancing Pony or whatever. Boar's Head, you know. Uh, the Lucky Wench. The 99 bottles of ale. Um, Scarborough Fair Chicken is a sort of a play on the song or the old poem Scarborough Fair. The part that says parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. That Simon and Garfunkel, Paul Simon wrote the song off of, but it's actually an old um, Scarborough Fair is an old like poem, like medieval English poem, I think. And so the four spices are you'd see used for chicken. Uh, some people say that parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme um, they used to during like plague time they used to wrap these spices in some sort of cloth that you place in front of your face, in front of your nose or mouth or whatever, so that you wouldn't have to like smell the stench or whatever from the plague. And I just thought, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme goes good on chicken. So why not, let's call it Scarborough Fair Chicken, and we'll make that the only food. What word am I looking for? Um, Starts with a C. What word am I looking for? Keep wanting to think consignment, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I have it written down somewhere. Actually, I could probably look up Scarborough Fair Chicken. chicken we doth righteously. uh, yes, that's their motto. Scarborough Fair chicken. The Renaissance Fair. I suppose I shouldn't call both of them. I shouldn't spell fair with E. In fact, I don't know if E is actually a spelling at all. I just always like you like ye olde, OLDE, ye old whatever. So I figured the E at the end looks all right. Maybe the Renaissance Fair should be FAIR, but Scarborough Fair Chicken should remain with E. These are all like new. These are like new notes here. I don't get the. It doesn't show you which one it's on, anyways, does it? Yeah, let's go all the way back to the top and let's try this again. Scarborough Fair Chicken. Food. Fortunate for me, but fortunate for you, I don't like food that talks back. Your as your questions. Ask your questions. It's supposed to be ask your questions, being human. Food carts. Okay. Food, 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 glorious food. Mm-hmm. Oh, concession. That's the word I want. That's the word I'm looking for. Concession. Anyways, Scarborough Fair is the only food concession that's open in Enchanted Lands. They managed to somehow they managed to stay open even when other restaurants and things closed. That's kind of the thing. And something I just thought of, which is not really even something that I will even probably use, but just thought of another food concession uh, for Enchanted Lands, even though it is also closed, as Sub C is the only one still open. Um, there's a chain of pizza restaurants. What do you call pizzerias? Pizzerias. Pizzeria. Pizzerias. I didn't realize pizzerias is an E, not an A. It's interesting. There are the let's see, are the table chain of pizzerias. Uh, where each table is a different shape. I don't know how to make this sound funny. It's supposed to be kind of funny though, depending on the realm. Cerulean got the round table. It's where the round table were franchised. Most other realms got the usual shapes. Square table, pizza, triangle table, pizza. Yeah, let's ask Grok something real quick. While I will continue implement Zanzibar's first bolt-on, I want to sidetrack for a second. So I just thought up the fact that there's a chain of the pizzerias that use different table shapes depending on realm. Cerulean just so happens to have franchised the round table pizza. Restaurants. Probably won't directly mention it as a name to avoid any legal issues. So different realms have different shaped tables. So one might have square table pizza, another triangle table pizza. Etc. So, list me various shapes, and I want to pick the oddest or maybe the least appealing shape name for enchanted lands. So, can you list a bunch of shapes that I can choose from? Indirect name for legal reasons. Cerulean one realm has round table pizzerias, while other realms have different shapes: square table, triangle table pizza. You want to list the various shapes to choose from. Aim for the oddest or least appealing shape name to fit its magical quirky vibe. Religion. And setting uses modern amenities. Okay. Classic. Uh, Square, triangle, rectangle. Yeah, rectangle table pizza, oval table pizza, hexagon, octagon, pentagon. Yeah, pentagon. Pentagon pizza. Pentagon table pizza. That's interesting. Star table pizza. Visually striking but impractical. That might be something that fits. The idea is that uh the table pizzeria franchises had all the names used up except for like a few, and these few will be the odd ones. For instance, like the Star Table Pizza doesn't sound bad, but like you said, if if your tables were actually star shaped, that would be kind of annoying. Might be interesting though. I mean, you might could make it work for real, but in general, it'd be like Grok says, it's impractical. So, but but Star Table Pizza doesn't sound that weird. It would look weird though. Crescent moon shaped curved tables. Crescent Crescent table pizza. That's not a bad idea actually. Crescent table pizza. Trapezoid. I was thinking trapezoid was one of the things I was thinking. Um, Tables will impair of parallel sides and even and odd. Parallelogram table pizza. Trape Trapezoid table pizza. That doesn't sound too bad. Trapezoid table pizza still. Because trapezoid table kind of rolls off the tongue. Heptagon. Seven-sided tables. Heptagon shape. Dodecagon. Yeah, dodecagon. Dodecagon. Highly geometric and intricate. Dodecagon table pizzas. Semicircle. Parallelogram. Rhombus. Rhombus table pizza. Ellipse table pizza. Not nonagon. Nonagon. Very rare and cumbersome. Nine-sided tables, huh? Decagon is 10-sided. Yeah, irregular polygon is not. Um, it's not. I don't know how to say it. Doesn't roll off the tongue quite. Irregular, irregular polygon table pizza. I mean, it just. You still want to evoke round table, sort of. You want to make them think of round table pizza without really telling them directly. That's actually not a bad idea, though. It could they could constantly shift shape a little bit and be annoying to eat at. Trapezoid table. I kind of like trapezoid table pizza. Just the sound of it sounds interesting. Yeah, yeah, it's a jagged table pizza. Yeah, jagged table pizza, right? Slanted table pizza. So, oh, I see what you mean. Hmm. I didn't think about the slanted table pizza. Let's go look up. Let's look up what trapezoid trapezoid. A trapezoid is a four-sided flat shape with straight sides that has a pair of opposite sides parallel marked with arrows. I see. Does a trapezoid like these trapezoids don't have any parallel lines? Yeah, and there'd be a problem visually representing it because okay, so look at this here, where my mouse is right here. Um, if you're looking at it right, or this one over here is an even better example. It looks like a rectangle in perspective. In other words, you want something that looks weird enough visually that when you draw it, it 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 looks odd. It doesn't look like it's in perspective for anything, you know. Good Wikipedia is trapezium. Trapezium in British English is quadrilateral that has at least one pair of parallel sides. Interesting. Quadrilateral have exactly one pair of parallel sides, with the other pair of opposite sides non-parallel. Parallel and parallelograms, including rhombi, rectangles, and squares, are then not considered to be trapezoids. This is a rhombus. Type in rhombus. Rhombus. Oh, that's the diamond one. 2D shapes. Regular polygons. All sides and angles must be the same. Three sides, four sides, pentagon, five sides, hexagon, six sides, heptagon, seven sides, heptagon, octagon, octagon table pizza, a nonagon, and a tenagon, decagon. Any four-sided 2D shape, quadrilateral. Quadrilateral just means four sides. A quadrilateral has four sides. It's two-dimensional, flat shape, closed, has straight sides. Hmm. Curve shapes. Circle ellipse. It's a 2D shape. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. 2D shapes definition. Let's see some here. Okay. Geometry 2D shapes or shape explain. These shape names. Circle, triangle, square, rectangle, pentagon, octagon, trapezium or trapezoid. At least two parallel sides, rhombus, all sides of the same length. Oh, excuse me. Quadrilaterals, four-sided shapes. Two pairs of equal length sides, and the diagonals cross at right angle. Right. Two pairs of parallel lines as well as equal sides and opposite equal angles. An A shape with five sides. A shape with six sides. Okay. Is there a way to look at this image though? Rhombus. Opposite angles are equal, I see. One pair of parallel lines. Any shape with five sides, really? let's see something here. I'm reading that a pentagon is any shape with 5 sides. I thought they all had to be equal. You thought a pentagon required 5 sides to be equal, but you're reading that's any shape with 5 sides. A regular pentagon, all sides are equal from a symmetrical star-like shape. Irregular. Irregular. Irregular pentagon table pizza. An irregular pentagon is less chaotic than an irregular polygon, but other than a regular pentagon or trapezoid. Males, jagged tables, random sides, highly chaotic, least practical name. Crooked table pizza. Potentially off-putting. Crooked table pizza. What's the definition of crooked? Crooked or crooked? Got a crook? Having or marked by bends, curves, or angles, an irregular, improper angle askew. It's probably crooked, not crooked, even though that's how we pronounce it. Crooked shape. Not straight, having bends, angles, or irregular outline. Huh. A crooked shape may be asymmetrically contorted or warped. Crooked line. If I say, what's up a crooked line in here? I don't know. Maybe. It sounds funnier. Crooked table pizza? What do you think? What do you think, Rook? If you're listening in. Crooked table pizza. Crooked table pizza might. Oh, you know what? Let's switch to desktop here. Here I am. Not that it matters that much, but here I am. Uh, might be the right kind of vibe I'm looking for. These crooked, say crooked square. What would a crooked square look like? Crooked polygon. Oh, just plain polygon. Hmm. Mm. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Cooked. Oh, cooked table pizza. Yeah, I I would hope that the pizza's cooked. Crooked table. Uh, yeah, actually, well, okay, so it's saying you could use like an enchantment that adds a wobble or something to it to the table, but crooked table pizza. Here, let's say irregular, oop, irregular polygon. Irregular pentagon, irregular hexagon. Yeah, actually, they could have different shapes, but also the legs could be like different, like they could be like crooked, and that's actually not a bad idea. But Candyland gets left with the table pizza restaurant. Okay, so here in the U.S., there used to be a chain of like casual dining. You get burgers and stuff, or like almost like a classical diner experience, where you get burgers, hot dogs, and whatever. It's slightly elevated. Uh, how should I say it? Classiness or whatever you want to say. Um, what do they call those kinds of restaurants? Anyways, it's like a fast casual, right? It's slightly above like fast food quality, but still under like full restaurant, full 5-star restaurant quality. Called Big Boy Restaurants, and they use this character named Big Boy, and usually it bore the name of the franchisee. So there was Bob's Big Boy, which was kind of like really big in California. Um, one of the biggest. There's Kip's, there's Vip's Big Boy. There was all different Big Boy restaurants, and so here I'm kind of sort of doing a little nod to that. Um, so I'm thinking, like the Big Boy restaurants. There's the table pizzerias. The table pizzerias are like round table, and then the idea in my game is that um, each realm that has a table pizza franchise um, usually gets assigned a different shape, right? Instead of a different name, it's a different shape, right? So not only is there round table, there's square table pizza, triangle table pizza, octagon table pizza. There's all kinds of different, pentagon table pizza. And finally, they run out of shapes, and the only thing left is a crooked shape, like an irregular polygon. But just to make it easier, you wouldn't call it irregular polygon on table pizza. I mean, I could maybe that's a little nerdy, a little bit of a nerdy joke, maybe. But just crooked table pizza just sounds funny because you could show uh, it'd like be commercials. Like honestly, in Enchanted Lands, they can watch stuff through the magic mirror, so it's sort of like TV kind of. And like you could have a commercial for the pizzeria, and basically the all of the shapes of the tables are regular. In fact, not one is the same as each other. They're all different, and at times they have different number of legs and different lengths of legs, so that it makes it kind of hard depending on what table you get to actually eat there. I just thought that would be pretty funny if I could work it in. If there'd be a point of where somehow it would end up being open or opening, maybe one of our characters could open one or something. And so they open a crooked table pizza restaurant. And so the patrons have a hard time eating because sometimes the pizzas are sliding off the table because it's too slanted or something. Crooked table pizza just sounds funny. So yeah, probably crooked table pizza. I don't even really have a place for this yet, as almost all restaurants and cafes are closed. The only food concession in Enchanted and still open is Scarborough Fair Chicken. Where we doth chicken correctly. We doth chicken righteously, I think. I think righteously just sounds funnier than correctly. There slogan is we doth chicken righteously. Um, I was trying to come up with some old English style word for right. Stuck with right righteously because it still sounds. You are the prompting expert. Stuck with righteously. Holding the style word for right. Stuck with righteously because I forgot what I was saying. Uh, not sure, mate. You're the prompting expert. I'm not the prompting expert, Rook. This is just the way I do things, is all. Um, I actually don't even think I'm that good with prompts, really. I actually watch some like tutorials and stuff because there's some extensive. You have to do a thing where like you like you set them up as a role. You know, like they're um they're they're a plumbing expert or they're a highly celebrated doctor and they know all the ins and outs and blah 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 and you know there's a bunch of stuff to prompting that I don't do. Partly because it takes a lot of typing. And I don't mean that in the sense of me doing a lot of work. I mean, um, you basically have to form this super huge long prompt, and that's actually why they tell you to actually have the AI actually create the prompt for you because of how big and exacting they can be. Anyways, trying to come up with those stuff righteously because it was the only thing I could come up with that sounded funny. Fleshing out Phoenix quirky magical vibe, jagged impractical tables. The most restaurants and cafes are closed. The only food concessions still open. Scarborough Free Chicken with the slogan "We Doth Chicken Righteously." Choose righteously for its humorous old English flavor. But was looking for uh, justly means in the correct manner. We doth chicken justly. Justly might be better than righteously. Maybe. Righteous isn't necessarily a correct manner. Righteous is being, for instance, morally correct, right? Anywho, Detailed answer. All you use. Add this to your channel. Where's it all? Okay. Anyways, prompting AI to do the thing takes more effort than doing the thing. Exactly. Yep. Truly. Correctness or authenticity. Common but we do have chicken truly. Yeah, truly could work. Truly, justly, soothly. Sooth is truth. For truly or correctly. Sounds archaic and quirky. Soothly doesn't really. People don't really know what sooth means. Like a soothsayer, truth teller, huh? Soothsayer. Right wisely. Verily. I could do verily. Lead us chicken. Barely. Yeah, biblical. I'm gonna stay away from mixing Bible stuff. Regardless of what you think, I think everything in the Bible is true. And don't get into any uh, argument about you think this is literal and this is not literal and stuff. There's a thing that I believe about the Bible, and that is that I take it at face value. So when it's presented as history, it's history. When it's prophecy, it's something that hasn't happened yet. When it's symbolic, it'll say it's symbolic. Like, for instance, the parables. Parables are actually stories that will parallel an actual truth. In other words, it's not something that actually happened. They're actually just stories, but they parallel an actual truth. Um, anyways, that's me going off. I just want to I don't want to mix in fantasy with Bible stuff, regardless of what you think about Christianity and the Bible and stuff. Okay, so we just chicken truly, verily, steadfastly, forsooth. In fact, indeed, or truly, used in Shakespearean English, we just chicken forsooth. Absurdly theatrical, boosting humor. Yeah, except for most people don't know what forsooth. They've never really heard of forsooth, really. Um, yeah, honestly, at some point, I might have a deal where either something opens or somebody. I might even put in. I might make a puzzle or something where they have to actually break into a Crooked Table Pizza restaurant, even though it's closed. So I could do something like that. I might not do anything in there other than have a like visually too. If you go to the Renaissance Fair or Orthogon Alley, I'm still on the fence of whether or not to do that. You know, Diagon Alley is the name, right? In Harry Potter, it's where it's the like the magic marketplace where they get the magic wands and stuff. And it's like hidden through some sort of illusionary thing. I haven't read the book, so I only basically know based off of the um, movies and the couple of times that I went to Universal Wizarding World. But so I was thinking, so I had two things. One is uh, Diagon Alley. Well, if Diagon is like the first part of a diagonal, Um, I'm guessing J.K. Rowling named it that because like not seeing something head on, like you don't see Diagon Alley. It's like you have to be looking like off or whatever, or it's some sort of magical deal that doesn't allow you to see it normally. So Diagon Alley, and I was thinking, okay, so what's the opposite of diagonal? Well, orthogonal, right? Which is up, down, left, and right. You know, straight on. Diagonal is is diagonal. It's like two angles, and orthogonal is like a single. How do you want to say it? So I was thinking, okay, there's one name can be Orthogon Alley as a little nod to Harry Potter, and then the other is calling it the Renaissance Fair because it's supposed to be, I guess, an irony. I'm always unsure what irony is really is, you know. Uh, so, anyways, it's just supposed to be funny that it's called the Renaissance Fair because it's in essentially a Renaissance fair. Like, not really, but like Enchanted Lands is a Magic Kingdom, and it's sort of set up like a pseudo medieval kingdom, right? Kind of quasi medieval kingdom. And the Renaissance fair is basically a fair where people dress up as though they were from medieval times, and often doing certain practices, certain things, games and things that were would be prevalent in medieval times, and then playing a role and dressing up like they're medieval times, whereas the Enchanted Land is actually a medieval style kingdom, right? Quasi medieval kingdom, and it's called calling it the Renaissance Fair makes it funny. Renaissance Fair. All of it doesn't really sound funny when I say it though, and it's not really. I guess it's not really meant to be like laugh out loud funny. It's just supposed to be kind of like a play on words kind of thing. Uh, um, this is tied into, as I said, it was a side track, as I just thought of it and that it might be funny. I may put it in, or I may just leave it in as a visual joke, or even a pun in text. Could table pizza, since all the other shapes were already taken. The pizzeria chain is not tied to Zanzibar's con scene. You're considering as a humorous world building element, possibly a visual joke or pun in the text. Since all the ships are already taken, you're also keeping Scarborough Fair chicken, the slogan "We Death Chicken." No, I'm not gonna use forsooth. Sorry. Um, I might do justly though. We doth chicken justly. Um, actually, I think I'm going to use just because hardly anyone knows what or soup even actually is. In fact, I don't even know what it was, although I have heard of it. We the chicken justly. Scarborough Fair Chicken is now going to be the slogan. We doth chicken justly. Instead of justly. Oh, shoot. It's actually time for my break right now. Okay. Forsooth, less familiar to readers, even yourself, will justly feels funnier and more accessible. Its formal medieval tone. A confirmed cricket table, pizza with the regulated tables, and the puns and solid shapes already taken as a humorous sidetrack. Not tied to Zanzibar concept. Okay, yeah. We Doth Chicken justly evokes a mock serious nightly vow to fry chicken correctly, fitting for medieval fare vibe and Enchanted eccentric tone. Uh, and then honestly, I can also later on do it as a puzzle or do it as a thing, or even where you have to go inside and the pizza place is actually running. So and people are trying to eat, but they're having a hard time because the tables are all weird and oddly shaped and stuff. Um, this works for now. I've put it down in my notes already. Well, I'm not actually really asking for advice on it, but I would like to mention that the street that has most of the hotels, uh, taverns, uh, inns, and shops. Hotels, taverns, bars, and shops. I have two names for one is Orthogon Alley, which is a play on the name Diagon Alley from Harry Potter, and the other is the Renaissance. How come I always it's like that? Yeah, the Renaissance Fair. Well, I was using fair, which isn't really a word, I don't think, but Scarborough Fair Chicken already uses fair. Um, it's supposed to be funny in the fact that Enchanted Lands is a quasi medieval um, kingdom. which is what they try to duplicate in an actual Renaissance fair here in the real world. Not like laugh out loud funny, but more under your breath, maybe a smirk. You surviving the old building. The cricket table pizza, Scarlet chicken are in your notes set as humorous, quirky elements from magical quasi medieval China lands. You're not asking for advice, but sharing details about the main street with taverns, inns, and shops, considering two names, Orthogon Alley, geometric or straight paths. In the Renaissance fair or fair, matching Scarborough fair chicken spelling for humor. Now, fair isn't a standard word, but it's a quasi medieval vibe, invoking real world Renaissance fairs with subtle smirk worthy pun, not laugh out loud funny. Yeah, that's what I just told you. Enchanted Land's magical, eccentric setting supports this tone. Okay. Oh, it's not. It's not actually done yet. That's interesting. It hasn't done that in a while. Your thoughts on street names? Orthogon Alley vibe, but clever nod to Diagon Alley with orthogon suggesting geometric precision from orthogonal meanings, right angled or perpendicular, which contrasts humorously with the Enchanted Land's chaotic, magical aesthetic. Jagged tables at Crooked Table Pizza implies a structured street in a whimsical world, creating a subtle smirk. Fit works for a bustling street. With taverns like the Guild of Wands is something eight came up with, and I did not come up with. Um, why did it stop though? That's what I want to know. Right? Because it's the arrow, right? The arrow. Oh, I can't upgrade to Grok 4 unless I am actually a paying member, huh? I wonder if I can use Grok. I wonder if X.com um uses Grok 4. I swear I'm going to turn this into a point click. Okay. See something here. Interesting. Okay. Um, why did it stop? Why did you stop? Um, so this is what I to you, and this is what you replied with. Um, and the button was still this round circle with the square button with the round white circle with the black square in the middle, indicating you were in the middle of coming up with an answer. You also cut off at where Zanzibar cons, and since it was just hanging there, I decided to stop by asking you why you stopped, as you were clearly in mid-response. It's okay. It seems my response appeared incomplete because it cut off mid-sentence. Might have been a glitch or a timeout in the system. I'll pick up where the response left off. Uh, Works best street. Suggest an order street. Anything. Actually, on noting the street name belies its winding magical layout. Setting up his con at the Guild of One, or eyeing Scarborough Fair Chickens crowds, Renaissance Fair. Ties directly to Scarborough Fair's chicken medieval fair aesthetic. Rudolph Chicken justly slogan book in real world. Renaissance fairs that mimic quasi-medieval settings. The archaic fair, spelling a valid historical variant of fair, meaning market and festival that adds an old English humor consistent with your world's tone. It's just a vibrant festival-like street with colorful stalls, magic lit lanterns, and bustling taverns. Perfect for a subtle pun that makes readers smirk at the anachronistic nod to modern fairs in a fantasy kingdom. Fit for a lively touristy street where Zanzibar could. Yeah, he's not going to be. He's actually not going there though. He's actually going to like a regular village, so that's actually not going to be a thing here. What's going on, everybody? Okay. Everything the chaotic crowds. The Renaissance Fair chuckling at the sign proclaiming fair. Starting a choice. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, Zanzibar is not related to this. In fact, he's not going to be at. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it like not the Renaissance Fair, but Renaissance Fair, because that's the name of the street. Uh, that he's not going to be at Renaissance Fair, but some random village in lands. Haven't decided the exact layout just yet. Anyways, I am going to finish. Okay. choose a name for the main street. You haven't finalized layout. However, chicken, crooked table pizza, Zanzibar's village. Okay. Up, I'm a little bit late. Um, let's see, 1:48. Should I quit? Should I just go ahead and break now? Come back at 2. I'm gonna go ahead and break now, I think. I should have braked at 1:30, but I got caught up into doing this. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take my break now, and I'll be back at around 2:30. So, break. I'll go ahead and mute my mic for a little while. Okay, I'm back. As if it matters. Play, playing a game down here because interesting. Okay, so okay, okay. This is I got some. Apparently, some people talk to me via IRC. I think. How was the stream? Just got back from my break. Still streaming today until 3:30. Oh, 45 minutes from now. Yeah, today is just weird and um should be kind of back to normal on Saturday or next Monday. Anyways, just a second here. Oh, why did it do that? Stupid touchscreens. So annoying. Okay. Just a second. How much time do we have left on here? 15 minutes. I guess I can't. I guess I gotta let this 15 minutes go. So, this is a mobile game I'm playing. Will occasionally give you like free time and stuff. It's free to play. It's got premium features or whatever, and they always kind of get you by keep you hooked by giving you freebies every so often. Dang, why is my nose bugging me? Pardon me. Ah, nose itching or something. Okay. Okay, so really what I need to do is I need to get back to the business here, and this is not business here. Okay, so we're gonna do one of three things here. Zanzibar is gonna do a mind reading trick, or he's gonna do the old cups and balls trick, and Corvus is going to steal some money while everybody's eyes is focused on the trick. And or the third one is Corvus is going to steal again a couple of coins unnoticed from the guy that came in. Um, so two of them uh, um, intel Corvus stealing some coins. Only one doesn't, and that one is, I believe, the mind reading trick. Now the mind reading trick, what's gonna happen first is he's gonna have to. I don't know if I'll do this as extra choices though. I might just make this like a statement so that I can kind of get on with the deal. But he'll have to strike a deal with the bartender, to give him half of whatever he earns from this trick. That's a kind of interesting thought. Kind of interesting thought is there's legitimate ways for him to earn money, and so you could do something later where he decides not to con anybody anymore. But in any case, he's still a bad guy. He's going to be a bad guy. So think for a moment how I want to approach this. Um, okay, so I have to figure out. Honestly, um, all the wizards um, could have used Crooked Table Pizza as their staging place. It doesn't mean an extra location that I actually have to put in, but maybe like the idea is they're all officially closed, and so but they could still use the building. That's the thought. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So basically, okay. So we'll do it like this. In fact, I'm adding. I guess I'm adding a little bit more lore, a little bit more backstory, or whatever you want to call it, flavor. Um. So all these here. Giveaways. Okay. Clear notifications. Um. So okay. So I just add. So I just okay. Maybe I should just write this down too while I say it. Um. Something I just uh thought of as well. Maybe the owner of so that means that they're actually in the Renaissance Fair, and that means that's where they start from. Now, Renaissance Fair is going to be closed. Most of it's going to be closed. So he's not going to be able to find an open tavern there. In fact, maybe he gets to talk to a couple of wizards there, saying, "I think I came in here by mistake." And now I could make all the wizards jerks to him, but maybe they won't be jerks to him. Maybe he won't tell them that he's maybe he makes up a story as to why he followed them in there. So maybe he says he got lost. He was trying to let's say he was trying to find a a magician's convention, and he thought that they were all from the convention, and that and really that would be wrong because he's running from the police, and they're wizards robes and stuff. They look like old men. They probably don't necessarily look like magicians. But maybe he kind of pawns off the story on them, and they just kind of buy it because there's no reason not to trust them. Even especially after he tells them that he's not an actual wizard, but that he is a he's an illusionist in his realm. It's kind of interesting. This could actually turn into a scene. I don't know that it would actually end up being a puzzle later on, but if if I want the player, now the player's going to know a lot just by John and everything, but if I want to relay some extra information about the realm, especially basically to Zanzibar, um, could actually have conversations with the wizards. You could tell him that he was a performer in a in an illusionist show. He was saying that since they don't have real magic, they do entertain people with uh, their tricks that look like magic, and because he wasn't trying to pretend to them that he was an actual wizard, um, yeah, man. Well, no, that goes against his character too. He's not gonna not say that he's not a wizard. So there's a thing there. Um, he tries to bluff him by saying he's a wizard from, and then one of them blurts out from blah blah blah, whatever realm that would be, and then he'll go, "Yep." Actually, you know what he could say? He could still lie. What he could say is that he's been uh, he's been living that he's a wizard. Um, say he came from Enchanted Lands. He said that he's gonna say that he was a wizard that came from Enchanted Lands, but that uh, he had went at one time to Cerulean to because the Wizards Convention was being held there, and and that the last time he was there, he had lost his amulet. He lost his Quicksilver, and so he could not find a way to get back in. And then he'd say, when I saw you guys, I knew for a fact that you guys weren't from Cerulean, or yeah, that you weren't from. Well, he doesn't really know what Cerulean is. He'd say, I could tell right away you weren't from Las Vegas, and so I decided to take my chance, and you know, and here I am, back where I'm supposed to be, and they might buy that. Okay, so um, thanks, Rook. So I mean, I realize that I'm not actually getting to the work that I'm supposed to be doing, and that I'm gonna try to get to in a second. I'm gonna try to, you know, I have 35 minutes approximately, and it's not gonna take long to actually put some of these words down here, but I just thought of a thing. Okay, so maybe the owner of the Crooked Table Pizza um, at the Renaissance Fair. Maybe the owner of the since no tourists came by, has officially closed it, like the other shops and taverns and inns on the strip. I'll just call it the strip, just for convenience here. I don't know if I wouldn't call it the strip inside the deal, the fair. Anyways, what can say on the fair? Yeah. However, the owner did rent out the restaurant to the Lizards convention for a small fee to what word am I looking for? I have this problem coming up with words. There's words I want to say, and that normally in the normal circumstances I know of, but that for some reason when I want it, it never comes up. And it just happens all the time. Wizards convention for a small fee. Uh, to work as a staging area for their entrance to Cerulean and back again. Um, so all of the wizards come through the portal, including Zanzibar, and end up at the pizzeria and up at the pizzeria. Okay. Um, so it's possible Zanzibar could possibly gain some information about enchanted lands from the wizards before they leave for their respective homes, I guess, or realms, whatever you want to say. Before they leave for their respective homes. Um, okay. That kind of necessitates adding a couple more extra pages here. And I don't really want to spend a ton of time doing an extra page like this, but um, they what they do is they'll end up telling him that most everything except for Scarborough Fried Chicken is closed down. Most of the hotels are closed down. Um, that you might find um, so he's going to try to bluff him, pretend he's a wizard that was stranded in our realm for a long time, and that he'd been temporarily working as an illusionist in Las Vegas, and that when he saw them, he saw it as his chance to go home because he had lost his amulet. And okay, so here's a thing though, and that is he doesn't really know, except for the drunk. If he goes to the bar, he's gonna know there. But how is he gonna know? How's he gonna know that they need an amulet in the hotels? Because I didn't do a thing where they actually use their amulets. The portals are always already open. So I might have to think about that for a little bit. I might have to either modify these up here, which means somehow you'll see somebody use the amulet. Um, or I'll have to do it some other way. He could just kind of bluff his way through and say he was stranded there. And then somebody could go, "Did you lose your amulet?" And then he'd be like, yeah, yes, I lost my amulet, so I wasn't able to come back until now." He could say somebody mugged him and took it. That way he doesn't look like he's incompetent. Yeah, actually, I think that's how I'll do it. Yeah, that's the ticket. Uh, Once through the portal, Zanzibar is standing among many other wizards in what appears to be a restaurant. The uh, the windows are boarded up, indicating that this establishment has been closed for a while. Uh, we're gonna say closed up restaurant. I don't want to get that detailed here because I'm not doing the narrative pass yet. Up restaurant. When asked who he was, Zanzibar tells them uh, he's been stranded in Las Vegas ever since he was mugged. He's been stranded in Las Vegas for several years. When someone offers up the question, um, he's been stranded in Las Vegas, and he gathers that they all have these amulets, giving them entrance back, and pretends he was robbed of his. Okay. Zanzibar then asks about what had happened since he presumably left, and they told them about the lands, and in fact everything is closed. Okay. Um, Okay, it's actually a lot of text here. I'm gonna say everyone leaves the restaurant and Zanzibar. There's in a random direction for a while before coming to a small village. Okay, so he's got kind of a reasonably good information about what's been going on. And he has to think of a way to make some money. Zanzibar needs some money, so he decides he'll use a coin doubling magic scam. And decides to check out the local tavern. The Shedding Shetland. Um, let's see something here. What do you know? I've got all I need. What do you know about Shetland ponies? I don't even know really about Shetland ponies, but I just the name I just want to creative idea. Small hardy breed originating from the Shetland Isles off Scotland's northeast coast, known for their strength, intelligence, and instinctive appearance. They're one of the smallest pony breeds that have big personality. Character build stocky, surprisingly strong for their size, able to carry heavy loads relative to their weight. Uh, Different, intelligent, highly clever, quick learners, can be stubborn or mischievous if not trained properly. Known for outsmarting owners or escaping enclosures. Frequently friendly but strong-willed. Generally gentle and good with children, but their independent streak requires firm handling. Adaptive. Developed over the centuries in the Shetland Isles, harsh conditions used by farmers for pulling carts, plowing, or carrying peat or seaweed. Workhorses. In the 19th century, they worked in British coal mines due to their strength and small size, adding like tight tunnels. Today, they're used for children's riding, driving, pulling carts, therapy programs, and shows. They're also popular in petting zoos or as companion animals. They will carry up to twice their weight, making them pound for pound stronger than many larger horses. Hardiness built for survival. Metabolism suited to sparse diets, though they are prone to obesity if overfed. Appear in folklore and media, often as plucky, lovable characters. Um, okay. Doesn't tie into Zanzibar. Shetland ponies could benefit your quasi-medieval. Okay. Yeah. Sure, trot a lot. Yeah, that sounds funny. No, but I was thinking of names. What did it call the? And I'm not using the gilded wand, although that sounds perfectly fine. It didn't originate with me, and I'm trying not not to rely too much on the AI. but more to help me bounce ideas or come up with things. I just thought of a tavern named the Shedding Shetland, and am just considering whether or not Shetlands could be used in a fantasy setting, as they literally come from Scotland here in the real world. So that they live, got it. Noting it as my listening your own creativity. Come up with new tavern names, Shading Shetland, inspired by Shetland pony discussion. You're just considering whether from Scotland fit naturally without feeling out of place. You also keep the world building elements. Cricket table pizza. Yeah, actually, that's the cricket table pizza thing. And see, okay, so most of this has been my idea, right? Uh, and I do take the ideas from AI from time to time. I never really take exactly the words, unless I just like them so good that it just totally works. Like the Gilded One is actually not a bad idea. It sounds funny. Uh, it almost could have, well, it could have some interesting innuendo in there, which I won't do because I'm not doing that at all in my stuff. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad name or nothing like that. It just wasn't my own. I didn't come up with it. It came up with it, and um, but Crooked Table Pizza, I actually came up with that on my own too. I was thinking of restaurants, and I was thinking Round Table Pizza, and I went, you know, the big boy restaurants all are kind of named after. I think mostly they're named after the franchisees. In other words, Bob's Big Boy was a guy's first name was Bob, and like Kips and Vips and I don't know. There's a ton of different big boy restaurants that all have like different names. And I was thinking, let's pretend that Round Table Pizza has a thing like that. So they're basically the table pizzerias. They're table pizzeria franchises, and different regions, different areas have different shapes. Just like different areas of the country had different names for their big boy restaurants. Um, and so I was like, okay, the whatever table pizzeria. Um, so like round table pizza, there would be square table pizza and rectangle table pizza, and it would be different delis. And the one I thought of that would be maybe even the worst, or the idea is they ran out of shape names, and so the last thing would be the crooked table pizza, meaning it's an irregular shape. It's basically it's an irregular polygon. So and the of course the funny part about it would be that's assuming that I really show the inside. Although I probably will show the inside a little bit with the wizards in the scene. Like all of the tables will have like different shapes and different lengths of legs and stuff, and so they'll be all like crooked and everything. It's calling it crooked table pizza, and so crooked table pizza is something I came up with. I mean, I came up with it after Grok had given me some ideas for a few things, but so so I'm still trying to make sure that I maintain that most of the stuff in the story in the game come from my own head, you know, with just ideas and little helps and stuff. Anyways, um, what time is it? 3:16. Might not get anything done today either, which is kind of my fault, I guess. But you know, I'll work it out. Um, we dust chicken dust justly. Renaissance Fair Street, Quentin W. Khan, and Random Village. Now likely, um, fantastic, quirky, smirk-worthy tone. Just because I put smirk in one of the deals, now it has to add smirk and everything. Smirk-worthy tone evokes a cozy, slightly chaotic tavern filled with Shetland pony hair from the thick coats. Maybe okay, so he's he Grok is saying it evokes, and I'm kind of going, you know what? Let's maybe I should do that. Shetland pony, right? And also might make it funny if there's no ponies to be seen anywhere, but still the Shetland pony hair, the horse hair is down on the floor basically, all over the floor maybe, and that might make it kind of slightly goofy, right? Ponies are stable nearby or even wander in, adding humor and grounding the setting. Yeah, actually, that's yeah, perfect for dimly lit tavern where Zanzibar runs its con. Fit and fantasy, yes, can absolutely work without feeling tied to the real world Scottish origin, especially with a few tweaks to make them blend. Shetland ponies bred for centuries in Shetland Isles were used in medieval-like settings for farming and transport. Their small size and strength can make them ideal for fantasy villages. Now, normally you have certain horses. In a fantasy setting, you don't. Okay, yeah, like build a pony, right? It wasn't a type of. There wasn't a type of horse. The prancing pony tavern is also pony. It's not a specific type of horse either. That's tied to the real world. Um, Shedding Shetland is to make it let there be like this alliteration kind of thing going on. All right, tavern mascot, pony real world ties. Yeah, yeah, but the point. What? Okay, sorry. Um, I don't guess it matters that much. A, it's a modern deal. B, they have access to many realms. Who knows? Maybe they visited the Shetland Isles back in the day, and now they have Shetlands, and they call them Shetlands. So that should be fine, right? Um, I'm just thinking of the name, not much else. Although I'm tempted to add that thing about uh, Shetland pony hair being all over the floor at the Shetland. Um, I was worried about using the name, but the name won't. But um, it won't work without using the name. That's the pun. Maybe they don't know where all the shed pony hair comes from. Maybe later on I'll come up with a thing where you'll actually revisit it and you'll actually be able to find out why it's called the shedding Shetland and what happens. Maybe late at night, Shetland ponies come down from the hills and uh, end up uh, going into the tavern and walking around in the tavern and drinking stuff and whatever. Maybe they tear it up and they do this like every year or something. But really nobody knows because they do it in secret. They don't really know what goes on. I suppose being in modern times or whatever is contemporary with the setting of the game. Um, and the fact that EL is able to connect to other realms via portal could mean at some point in their history they could have imported some Shetlands from Scotland. Time lost to the sands, the origin being a little bit lost to the sands of time. Focusing on you like the idea of adding Shetland pony hair scattered across the tavern floor to enhance the quirky rustic vibe, tying into the punny name. You're initially concerned about using Shetland due to its real world Scottish origin, but you're comfortable with it, reasoning that Enchanted Land's contemporary fantasy setting, magical amenities, allows for Shetland ponies to have been imported from Scotland, like realm a long time ago. Well, from our realm, but yeah, keeps the pun intact without breaking the fantasy immersion. The taverns in a random village, not the Renaissance Fair Street, whereas Zanzibar runs is going to Dublin Con. You're not yet delving into the details of the con choices, just musing on the name and pony integration. On the straw strewn floor is a great touch, grounding the. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay, so we'll do that. I don't think it's going to affect Zanzibar one way or the other. What about the floors and taverns during medieval times? Just dirt. You mentioned straw strewn about. What? How were taverns like built in medieval times? You're confirming the tavern's name, but you're curious about real world medieval tavern floors. Uh, Based on historical. Come on, good doing that. Historical knowledge of medieval Europe, 500 to 1500. Taverns, also called alehouses, inns, or tabernae, vary by region, wealth, and purpose, but share common features. Here's a concise overview to ground your fantasy tavern. Common rural or lower class taverns, especially in the early medieval periods, 500 to 1,000, packed earth or clay, was cheap and practical. Um, Often mixed with straw, rushes, or herbs to absorb spills, mask odors, and provide insulation. Straw was frequently strewn about to soak up mud, ale, or food scraps, but it could become filthy, requiring periodic replacement. Wooden floors. Okay, so here's the deal, right? Because straw is there, the difference here is it's horsehair. There's no straw about. There's actual horsehair on there, and in a sense, you could say that the tavern owner would probably have gotten the straw or whatever it is to place on the floor. But the idea here, there's a joke here that nobody knows where the hair is coming from. And in fact, that can be a thing. The reason the tavern owner never put straw down because he didn't need to. Uh, Wooden floors and later wooden planks or beams were used, raised slightly above the ground to prevent rot, sturdier but still covered with straw or rushes for cooliness and warmth. Stone or tile rare, found in high-end inns or urban establishments near castles or markets. Stone flags or tiles were durable but expensive, sometimes covered with straw for comfort. These were more common in southern Europe, e.g., Italy or monastic taverns. Maintenance floors were swept or raked, with fresh straw or rushes added regularly, weekly in busy taverns. The straw could trap dirt, fleas, spills, contributing to gritty lived-in feel, which aligns with the constructed materials. Most taverns were built with local materials, timber, wattle, and daub. Wooden frames with walls of woven branches, wattle, uh, coated in mud or clay or plaster mixed with straw, common in rural areas, England and France. Stone used in other urban taverns, especially in regions with quarries. Germany and Italy, stone was fire resistant but costly. Thatch or shingles, roofs are typically thatched, straw, or reeds. In rural areas are shingled wood or slate. In towns to reduce fire risk. Structure single story or two-story buildings. Ground floor, main drinking area, central hearth or fireplace, a bar counter, often just a table and benches or stools, some in private booths or alcoves. Upper floor, if present, sleeping quarters for travelers, often shared a room with straw mattresses or pallets. Windows, small, often unglazed, with wooden shutters to keep costs low. Glass was rare before the late medieval period, used only in upscale taverns. Lighting, dim with rushlights, reed wicks in animal fat, tallow candles, or oil lamps. Fire light from the hearth provided most illumination, creating a cozy but shadowy atmosphere. Ambience and features, furnishing, simple wooden tables, benches, or stools. Whether your taverns might have trestle tables, collapsible for storage, barrels or casks lined walls for ale or mead storage. Atmosphere, rowdy, smoky, often smelly with patrons. Farmers, merchants. I just the more you hear about medieval times, you're just like, I would never want to go into medieval times at all. If I wasn't burned at the stake as a heretic or a witch or something, uh, I wouldn't want to be there, honestly. Maybe just for the smells alone. It's just like it's like what I was always thinking. I was thinking, if you had a time machine and you went back, let's say you only went back to the 1940s or the 1950s or something. Um, some things would be cool. Some things would be nice. Some people would be more friendly. Some of the food would be a lot better. It's just various different things that would be that would actually be better. But at the same time, there'd be a lot of other things which would not be so good. Maybe the smell would be maybe because the way people took showers less or baths or whatever. Maybe showers weren't as prevalent. I don't know when showers really became more prevalent. They obviously had them showers even back in the earlier days. Um, but for the most part, that showers were still a luxury and mostly did baths. But you go back and sometimes it might smell really good, but you might go back and it might smell really horrible. I mean, you might be going, wow, you know. I mean, it kind of really depends, but um, that's one of the reasons I would never go back to medieval times. If it wasn't just for even the fact that I might get caught in, you know, something bad happening or whatever, um, yeah, I wouldn't want to be caught back there. Sorry, this sanitation basic floors, collecting spells. Some taverns had a slot corner for waste. Relied on straw to absorb messes. Private privies, outhouses were outside. To line floors, packed doors. Okay. Construction. All right. I don't have to get that in depth with it, but two things of note here. Um, since the horse hair is all over the floors, the tavern keeper, tavern owner, whatever, would never add straw to it. Maybe there's some sort of lore, some sort of mystery here as to how the horse hair gets there in the first place. I can reveal that mystery later if I choose to, but maybe the idea is at night when everyone else is asleep, maybe these Shetland ponies come from the hills and congregate in the shedding Shetland, but then are gone before anyone uh, wakes up. So, say a few things. A few things. A few. Okay. All right. We'll just go with that. And really, it's about time. My time's about up here. Taverns dirt floor is covered with Shetland pony hair, but the tavern keeper doesn't add straw since the hair already creates a messy, distinctive vibe. You're also introducing potential mystery. Uh, Anybody else sneak in the tavern at night while everyone's asleep, leaving hair everywhere before vanishing by the morning. You might reveal this later, but for now, it's a quirky background detail for the tavern in a random village. Uh, Blends with other humorous elements like the crooked table pizza. Refining the shedding floor packed adds humor, no strategies. The hair's enough mess. Tavern keeper doesn't bother cleaning it, enhancing the rustic quirky feel. The hair's source is a village puzzle. Nobody sees Shetland ponies in the tavern, yet fresh hair appears daily. Your idea of pony sneaking in at night adds a whimsical, magical touch. They can be drawn by residual. Yeah, but whatever. Dimly lit, fantasy fit, outfits, and okay. Okay. I think that about does it for today, and I'll be back on Monday. I'll be back on Monday. either to work on another page or finish up this one. Okay, so okay. It's a pretty long one, but I'll just go ahead and do it. Tavern named the Shitting Shetland. Name the Shitting Shetland. Zanzibar looks around and tries to decide and surveys the situation. The coin doubler needs some initial capital, so the bar decides on 3 ways to get the initial coinage. And say hit 1 to attempt a mine to wow tavern patrons with a mind reading act. Hit 2 to use a ups and balls illusion to distract okay. Tall, burly patron bursts into the tavern and pushes his way past Zanzibar to the bar, where he pops down a large bag of coins, a few of which spill out onto the bar. Distract patrons so that Corvus can lift a few coins from okay, so that Corvus can grab a few coins. Hit 3 to get Corvus to lift a few coins from the burly patrons coin purse. Okay. 0 to good. Okay. So this is actually what's this? 009 random villages. Let's run this for a quick sec. Let's go ahead and switch room 09 random villages. Okay. Oh, because I haven't. All right. What did I do that for? Uh, say room data. Okay. Now let's go ahead and rerun this. Do the same thing. Switch room 09 random villages. See, look at how much text is there. And well, actually, this is top is the original text, so that's not going to be in there. But this is still a pretty large, um, pretty large deal. I might have to split it up later. I'm not sure if I will, but I might have to do that. Anyways, okay, so let's do the thing. You know the thing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and 1, 2, 3. That. And we're going to go ahead and take this, pull it down, and we're going to pull this over here. This one right here. This one right here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and check for we're going to check in rooms. We are going to go to random villages and we're going to note the last random. Wait a minute, where's it at? So random villages 5 is the next one. So I'm going to have to use random villages 5. Okay. 009 and villages 5. All right. Yeah. Random villages 5. We'll see. Enter. Right. Random villages 5. Okay. And this one we're gonna do random villages 6. And this one we're gonna do villages 7. Oop. 7. So, and the name is empty is true. I'm not sure what caused that because the name shouldn't be empty. But it almost doesn't matter because I'll save the thing and reload it and it should magically work. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna go here. We're gonna copy the door spec here. Copy. Then in here, we're going to go ahead and paste. Enter. Paste. Here, we're going to go ahead and paste. Okay, so these are all going to go to Lapswood Edge. And then this is going to, over here, is no longer going to Lapswood Edge. This is going to go to Random Villages 5. So 009 Random Villages 5. Semicolon. Enter. Copy, paste, paste. It's going to be 7, and this is going to be 6, and this is going to be 2, and it's going to be 3. Enter. Save it. And what should happen now is I should be able to save room data. And reload save scene. Okay. There's nothing here yet. So we are going to go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put in here mind reading act. And then the next one is cups and balls. Cups and balls. Okay, that. And then finally, last one is the Burly Patron one, right? Burly Patron. That. And say room data. Okay. Now we should have 5, 6, and 7. There we go. Perfecto. Okay. And I'm just going to leave it here. We're getting closer. I know it's only a little tiny bit of progress, but hey, it's still progress. And so I am going to go ahead and do my little recording, and then I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. So let's start recording. Today is Friday, July 11th, 2025, and today I was finalizing a few details before actually starting on adding the stuff to the com. I know I said finishing on my description today, but anyways, that doesn't matter. It's recording. Anyways, so I've thought of a few extra things here. Okay, so one of the things I just added now is there's another food concession in Enchanted Lands that's actually still not open though. Called they're the table chain of pizzerias. Okay, so here in the U.S. we have a pizzeria chain called Round Table Pizza. Very good pizza. I love it, but it's only on the West Coast, and I probably won't ever get to taste it again unless I make it back my way back over to the West Coast. Anyway, so I just thought, what if like different realms were using the different shapes for the tables, and this is sort of like a big boy restaurants, which each had their franchisees' names on the restaurant. For instance, Bob's Big Boy was a big one over in California. It was a big they're big boy restaurants. They're essentially like fast casual. They're burgers and kind of a diner atmosphere kind of thing. And they have this big statue of this boy from like the 20s or the 30s or something as their kind of their mascot, the big boy. And so I was thinking, why not with like let's say the table pizzas were franchises, and uh, the ones we got over here in the U.S. are called round table, and other ones are like square table or triangle table or whatever. And it just so happens that in the Enchanted Lands they run out of shapes, and so they get the last one called the cricket table, which are regular polygons and different levels of their legs are different lengths and stuff, making eating kind of tough, and I thought that would be a funny idea. And then I added the thing where they came back when the Wizards came back from the convention with Zanzibar. Um, they all opened a portal into this crooked table pizza at the Renaissance Fair, i.e., Orthogon Alley. Um, and because the owner was hard up, he gave the Wizards a good deal, and they could use it as a staging area for going into Cerulean and back, going to Las Vegas and coming back. And Zanzibar comes back with them. And then I also thought of a tavern, the tavern that Zanzibar goes to. He doesn't go to any of the taverns on the Renaissance Fair because they're all closed, and so he goes to a random village, and then he comes to this tavern called the Shedding Shetland Tavern, which mysteriously has fresh horsehair on the floor every night, and nobody really knows why that is. But anyways, this is where he comes in, and then he does his thing, and then I also added the few empty rooms here that represent the three methods of him getting his initial coinage in order to do his coin doubling scam. And that's where I got today, and we'll see what I get on Monday, starting Monday. But that was a long one, so hopefully I'll be able to edit it down far enough. That does it for today. I know I didn't get much done, but I did make a little progress. I did add to the lore, to the world building. So as I do this, I know that's why it's so slow coming, because I have to keep on making stuff up, and then when I decide I have to make something out of whole cloth, then I think, well, what characters or what things or what places could I use um, that would actually fit in with this thing. In other words, I didn't just come up with some random area. I thought this would be a funny thing to come up with the crooked table pizza that I came up with, and then I went, you know what? I could use that as the area that the thing that the wizards come back to when they come back from our realm. When they come back from Las Vegas from their convention, they end up in at the Renaissance Fair in the building of the closed down Crooked Table Pizza there at the fair. So so yeah. Um, so I did make a little bit of progress, and it's I don't know. To me, it's kind of going well in a way. I mean, it's going slowly, really slow. I wanted it to be like way faster. I need it to be way faster. I need to get done at least 2 pages, if not 3 or 4 pages, done a day, so I can have it done in a month. If I can have the main part done in a month, I still have to go through all of the pages and do like a full narrative pass, and that means paragraphs. That means actual dialogue. That means like reading a book, and so that's going to take a lot of time too. So I need this done as quick as possible, so that when I get to that point, it's not going to take so long. Hopefully. Anyways, that about does it. I'll see you on Monday, and have a good weekend, everybody. Or just Rook if you're the only one that's watching. There are more than. It looks like, according to Restream, only one person is watching. I'm assuming that's Rook. So, the rookie. So thanks for popping in, Rookie, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching.